very exciting for me, and I'm going to be releasing my brand to you guys and doing an actual product review of the Stay Woke, Stay Black collection.
But by now, the name Doechii is one that a lot of people have probably seen or heard. She's quickly become one of the biggest breakout stars in the music industry, with one of the most talked about records out right now. With several Billboard Hot 100 hits under her belt. Anxiety. Being the most recent, Doechii has built an impressive catalog and is firmly on the radar as one of the most exciting new artists in the game. You've likely seen her pop up everywhere lately, from award shows to interviews to high-profile collaborations. But with all that success comes speculation. Some people are wondering, is Doechii's rise organic, or is she just another so-called industry plant? In this video, we're diving deep into her backstory to uncover the real truth behind her come-up. Jayla Hickman, professionally known as Doechii, is a 26-year-old rapper, singer, and songwriter from Tampa, Florida. While many fans know her for the fame she's earned in recent years, her journey started long before the spotlight ever found her. Raised by a single mother alongside her twin sisters, Doechii grew up in a working-class Black household. Her family moved around frequently, rarely staying in one place for too long. That instability shaped her early life, and you can hear the echoes of it in her music today. She's heavily influenced by her Florida roots and proudly embraces the title Swamp Princess, a nickname that's become a major part of her personal brand. You'll often see alligator symbols woven into her visuals. It's a nod to both her heritage and her grit. Doechii's confidence today might lead you to believe she's always been that way, but that wasn't always the case. In interviews, she's been open about being bullied so severely that she once considered taking her own life. In her words, "I was getting bullied so bad that I was thinking about ending it." But in that dark moment, something shifted. She decided, "I'm not going for that. I'm the most important character in this movie." That moment of self-realization became a turning point and a catalyst for claiming her identity. Growing up, her mother kept her involved in a variety of sports and after-school programs, but it was the arts that truly pulled her in. In 2012, Doechii was accepted into a historically Black performing arts high school, where she trained in classical choral music and eventually graduated in 2016. At that time, she had no clear understanding of how the music industry worked. She didn't even know what an independent artist was. That changed during her senior year, when one of her best friends introduced her to home recording. Her friend had a DIY setup and was recording music straight from her bedroom. Inspired, Doechii began going there after school every day, writing, recording, and uploading music to SoundCloud. That's when she truly discovered her passion for music. By the time she graduated, she was all in. This was her path. Even before she fully committed to music, Doechii made her first attempt at building something bigger than herself. She launched a clothing line called Stay Woke, Stay Black. It wasn't just fashion, it was a movement. It stood for unapologetic blackness and social awareness, themes that would later become central to her music and identity as an artist. Would you like this reformatted for a specific platform like YouTube narration, article, blog post, or social media caption?
So I'm starting this thing where I'm deliberately making these digital diary documentation for the future.
Absolutely. Here's a clean, structured rewrite of that next section, keeping the storytelling engaging and professional while retaining all the key details. But the Stay Woke, Stay Black brand didn't last long. And through that short-lived venture, Doechii got her first real taste of what it takes to build something from the ground up. She learned that having a good idea isn't enough. You have to understand your audience, deliver real value, and execute with precision. That failure turned out to be one of her earliest lessons in entrepreneurship. Even though the brand didn't succeed, the experience taught her skills she would later apply to her music career, where the product was no longer clothing, but herself. In 2016, Doechii released her first official song on SoundCloud, a track called Girls. It was the beginning of her journey as an independent artist. She eventually took the song down but re-released it in 2018, once she had gained more confidence and experience. That release marked the foundation of what would become her signature sound and creative identity. By May 2019, she had built up enough momentum to drop her first project, Coven Music Session, Volume 1. Entirely self-recorded, the project featured raw audio from a YouTube series she'd started called Coven Music Sessions. A year after recording the sessions, she uploaded the live performance videos to her channel, then packaged them into a full project. One of the standout tracks from that collection? Anxiety, which at the time remained officially unreleased. Fast. Forward 5 years to March 4, 2025, and that same song, Anxiety, would become one of the biggest records of her career. Around the same time she was experimenting with Coven Music Sessions, Doechii began sharing more of her story online. While she was still figuring things out and staying connected with the small but growing community she had built, she started documenting her journey. In late December 2019, heading into 2020, she began opening up about her experiences in real time, what she was going through, what she was learning, and what it meant to chase a dream with everything on the line. Would you like me to continue with the next part of her story, or help structure this into a video script or blog post format?
Going to be just coming in like every week or so. I don't know, I'm not gonna put like a timestamp on it, but I kind of just want to keep up, just document different things that I feel throughout this process and this journey. And I just want to document this moment and these moments because I want to look back at it and watch.
Doechii explained that documenting her journey wasn't just for an audience, it was for her future self. In many ways, the camera became her outlet, a tool to process the chaos and uncertainty of chasing a dream. By recording her thoughts, struggles, and progress, she was guiding herself through the noise, creating a kind of roadmap in real time as she tried to make sense of it all.
Either way, I'm gonna be straight. I'm just gonna go to a whole bunch of like studios, ask if they have any internships open. I have nothing to lose. I literally have nothing to lose. I have no place, I have no job, I have no children, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who fucking cares? I'm just gonna do it. I'll let you know how that.
She titled the series The Artist Way, a personal video diary that ran for 11 weeks, inspired by Julia Cameron's book of the same name. It was a vulnerable, behind-the-scenes look at her life as a developing artist. But just after releasing the second episode, something major happened. She got fired from her job.
And this week I had some audacity to take my black ass all the way to Rock Nation, and I was like, I'm going to treat this shit like it's the motherfucking movies. I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna walk out with a songwriting deal, period.
But the plan backfired badly. Doechii never even made it into the elevator. Security stopped her at the door before she could get inside. That moment was humbling but also eye-opening. It made her realize she needed a new strategy, one that didn't rely on forcing her way into rooms that weren't ready for her yet. From that point on, she committed to a new approach, one rooted in clarity and discipline. She decided to focus on 3 core things, her foundation. And by locking in on those, she experienced a personal breakthrough that would change everything moving forward.
To have to tell me to my face that I'm fucking crazy and it's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to tell me that over and over and over. I don't care at this point. And so I'm reaching this point in my life, in this period, where the only thing that I really feel like I have is my talent, my skill, and my audacity.
Doechii was building real momentum, not from industry recognition or public attention, but from doing the inner work. She was focused on understanding herself more deeply, both as an artist and as a person. One of the biggest challenges she faced at the time was battling her own negative self-beliefs, especially the idea that she wasn't endlessly creative. In one of her vlogs, she opened up about how she didn't realize the full extent of her creative potential until she started peeling back those limiting beliefs. It was through that process of unlearning, the quiet, internal work, that everything truly began to shift for her.
Beginning of my weeks, I was talking about how one of my fears and creative blocks, a negative self-belief that I had, was that I would be a one-hit wonder, or I could only write one really good song or make one really good album. And that's because I'm limiting my beliefs not on myself, but on my source.
What made the Artist Way video series so powerful was that you could actually see the growth unfolding in real time. The energy in the first episode compared to the fifth was like night and day. By the halfway point, Doechii felt like a completely different person, more focused, more grounded. This wasn't someone simply hoping things would work out. This was someone actively manifesting her future, shaping it with intention and purpose. Still, despite that drive, she was very much in the thick of it, mentally, emotionally, and creatively. She was figuring herself out in real time. But by documenting that process so openly, you could feel a shift starting to happen, not just in her music, but in her mindset. That growing clarity sparked new waves of creativity. Around this time, she began developing the concept for her next project, an EP rooted in imagination and playful storytelling, inspired by the whimsical world of Dr. Seuss. The project wouldn't drop until later in 2020, but the foundation for it was being built right there, in the middle of her personal transformation. That EP became a breakthrough moment, the body of work that finally got the industry to take notice. By late 2020, the internal growth Doechii had been working on for months started becoming visible on the outside. The groundwork she had laid behind the scenes was paying off. She had finally figured out how to package her identity, something she had struggled with for years, and the world was starting to catch on.